Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. I'm here with Joe Cool, the coach, John Brent.
And I'm here with the vet, Mr. Ian Griffin. I hear we're going to talk about Joe Biden. Remember, he wears those cool Joe sunglasses.
Yeah. Well, he wears those cool glasses. He drives an electric Ford truck with somebody over to stop in case he passes out. So anyway, yes, we're going to talk about the fortune teller, Joe Biden. Yes, because this is the most transparent presidency there is in the White House press corps, and he's able to come out and invoke confidence from the American people by coming out telling us things, and we're supposed to believe him. And then within 2 weeks, that shit don't happen. So I got a list of them, Coach. Whenever you're ready, short list.
All I can say is I am so happy that the peanut farmer Jimmy Carter is still alive to see this mess, because now he can feel for sure that he's not going to go down in history as the worst president of the United States. So I'm going to leave it at that.
That's fact. You know, one thing about it, I'll talk about Jimmy Carter real quick. He's been a great after president.
You are so right.
But he sucked as a president, and there's no other way of calling it. I mean, he was a naval officer. He went to Annapolis. He was but he sucked as a president. And he proved, and every other president since then has shown it. Since JFK, none of them know how to handle foreign policy. What a flock, it is what it is. So go ahead, Coach.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, I've studied JFK and Kennedy's for years. I think we better go back to Eisenhower, because I think Kennedy made some of the worst blunders. He did some good stuff, but he made some blunders.
Truman was a Democrat, if I remember right. And I think he was the last one to be assertive with foreign policy, to be honest. Because, he just told the Ruskies, says, if you don't get the flip-flop out of there, we'll just drop the bomb on you. When you got it and they don't, you got to use it, and because it worked, So, but he is the last one in my mind. And I love Eisenhower, but he didn't really have a place where he had to utilize it that much, whereas the others did, and they sucked at it. They just flat out sucked. So anyway, they're good at giving pieces hugs. But so the fortune teller President Joe Biden, number 46 himself, who is going to unify the nation with all his honesty and his credibility, and so is his White House press secretary and press corps, because they're straight honest and they would never spin a goddamn thing toward us. But so let me just throw a few things out there. On April 14, 2021, we will not conduct a hasty rush to the exit of Afghanistan. We will do it. We will do it responsibly, deliberately, and safely. I don't know, Coach. I'm just asking you a question, but those people falling off the airplane, there's some OSHA freaking violations on that. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think that's too safe. I don't know.
The Democrats are going to say, well, it had to happen. It was going to happen no matter when we come out. It was going to happen that way. But I'm telling you what, there's a lot of women over there getting raped right now. A lot of people getting killed that helped us over the last 20 years. We took away every women's right that they ever had over there. They built up in 20 years. And we got the first female vice president in the history of this country. And she ain't said a word, hadn't got on a plane and went over there, hadn't done anything. So,
Crickets.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Crickets. From her. So on July 8, 2021, the jury's still out, but the likelihood that there's going to be the Taliban overrunning everything and owning this country is highly unlikely. And we wasn't out of there freaking 15 minutes, and whoosh, the Taliban goes, that dude ain't doing a dang thing. That dude ain't got no backbone. And we got us a country, boys, with a full arsenal of equipment. Woohoo!
Yeah, the only thing that he did, well, actually, if you think about it, they probably took over that place a few weeks before, knowing he wasn't going to do anything. But the only thing that he did after that, because we were so upset about the 13 that's killed, he blowed up a vehicle full of some water jugs. I mean, that's about all Biden's done over there.
Yeah, and some innocent people and kids, that had nothing to do with anything, that were probably, for the next 50 years, those people will hate America. They lost their loved ones, and he built some new terrorists from them. And understandably for those families, they're understandably so, for that blunder. And then we have on April 19th, 2021, with the ABC, when he talked with ABC News, if there's American citizens left, we're going to stay until we get them all out. And I don't know, Coach, but I think it's the 14th of November. and we didn't stay, and they ain't all out.
No, and what I've heard that press secretary that's a joke over and over say, well, the ones that wanted to get out are out. The ones that didn't, but they don't understand that the reason some won't get out because we promised to get out whole families of people, and they're not allowing the whole family to come. So, of course, if you're a father, you're not going to leave your wife and kids over there. So, but that's what they say. Well, they refuse to leave. Come on, it's bullshit.
Yeah, and and then before I leave Afghanistan and go to other things, though, I have to tie the counterpart to this. In April 2021, Kamala Harris, she was in on the decision of the troops from Afghanistan. In an interview with Dana Bush in the State of the Union from CNN, Harris was asked about being the last person in the room regarding major decisions, something that Biden has said is important to him in his working relationship with the vice president. And she confirmed that she was instrumental in the decisions to make sure that they leave by September 11th. So we don't want her to lose any credit on what she deserves and has earned in her intellectual thought prowess that she has contributed to this great country, the United States of America, and pretty much sabotaging everything worth a darn over in Afghanistan. So I think we got to include that.
I mean, to be honest with you, you called it crickets earlier. I really think that, the emblem that you see with the Republican Party is an elephant, and the one you see for the Democrats is a jackass. They need to change it from a jackass to a cricket, because that's exactly what they do when they make mistakes and things come up with you actually have to make decisions for the world and for this country, is they just move on to the next, look back and forget about it. I think they should change it to a cricket.
I have no doubt there. And so I kind of agree with that, but I do think jackass is appropriate to them as well, because they talk a lot and nothing's worth the shit that comes out of them. But now, just recently, Peter Doocy from Fox News personally asked the president the question, what about this $450,000 that's going to immigrants that cross the border illegally? And the president said it was garbage. Y'all keep pushing this garbage. People are going to believe it. So he's saying it's not going to happen because he's the president. He's almighty and everything. And then not even within 24 hours, the union was walking that back. It was AFL, American Civil Liberties Union, walked that back. Said, well, he's probably not informed. And then the State Department came back. So back to the union thing, he's working as a puppet of a union instead of the best interest of a nation of America. And so then he goes, well, they were erroneously done wrong by President Trump, although he's following the policy from President Obama. But anyway, so he's sitting there going that they have to, give him some money for that. So we're going to give him $450,000 when in America, and I got to clarify this because it's been reported by a couple of senators, and people may misunderstand it's in the military. If a soldier, or any service member dies in the line of duty, they get $100,000 from the federal government. That's called death gratuity. They get up to $400,000 on the life insurance policy that they pay into through the military itself. But from the federal government, it is only $100,000. Go ahead, Coach.
No, it's amazing, because when I heard that, I was driving down the road when I heard that Peter Doocy asked that question. He said, that's garbage. You keep people talking about stuff like this. You're going to make people believe this. And I heard about 2 days later him come back and say, well, under the Trump administration, people that were treated this way at the border, maybe they should deserve amount of money. And then later on, I heard somebody in the administration say it could be $450 up to $1 million. Let me. You're talking about money. You're talking about my paycheck and your paycheck, vet. People that are American citizens, we're going to give to people that are breaking the law money because they were mistreated. Well, let me ask you this. If a person robs a bank and they get shot robbing the bank, are we supposed to pay the bank robber for the bank shooting the bank robber? He was breaking the freaking law when he was robbing the bank, and he took one in the knee, and they're going to pay him for a knee replacement? We're going to pay him not to work for the rest of his life? Are you kidding me? If they get $5, I swear to God, somebody should do something about that.
Yeah, to me, it is freaking insane. It's just dumb. It's insane. But what does it prove? One, that we cannot trust the word of the president of the United States. I mean, yeah, he's done that. He didn't even know. He's done that, not us. All we do is watch him, and we listen to him for his words, and we expect that to be the truth. And because of that, we expect to say, Okay, that makes sense. Or we don't like that, but this is what he's going to do. But almost every situation is a 180. And I know you got some other examples of it in such, like with mandates and all this other stuff. It is a complete 180. And if you think about this, what did he say during the election? I will never take a vaccine by President Trump. President Trump's pumped out 2 vaccines, and now he wants all America to take it. I don't know what the flip flop. And his vice president, I will not take a vaccine by President Trump. No, I won't. Ha, ha, ha. Let me laugh at you so you'll look at me and think I'm cool. Yeah, bullshit. You're just sitting there making people lose their jobs over what you said a year ago that you wouldn't do. I don't understand it, Coach.
Look, I just showed a documentary to my students about the production of the vaccine, about Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson, how they actually work together as competitors for the first time ever. And I actually love the documentary. It's actually called Mission Possible, a race for a vaccine. They started this immediately when Trump was president. They didn't take, and Pfizer didn't take some of the money, but it started under Trump. So when Kamala Harris and Biden say at that time, we're not going to take that vaccine, that's the same damn vaccine that's out now. And for them to say that it's all semantics and politics, and playing towards the base of people that are being fearful of President Trump just because he's a mean guy. But the vaccine they put in their arm was the same vaccine that was going on then.
So think about this. This is how bad his disinformation is, because all the things that he's told us is disinformation or a form of a lie, or he's backtracked on. I'm telling American people that me and my vice president will not take a vaccine from President Trump. A year later, if you don't take the vaccine now and you don't get the shot, your federal job, you're losing it. See you later, sayonara, whatever. And we're going to impose whatever we can on anybody that I can impose something on to make you lose your job. Although I told you a year ago when you're supposed to vote for me, guy, don't take the vaccine. But now I need you to take the vaccine because I'm the guy. This is stupid, Not like President Trump was in the lab coat making the freaking vaccine, to be quite honest with you. Like you said, It was Pfizer, it was Moderna, and it was Johnson & Johnson making them. All of them were made under his administration. He just happened to reap the benefits of them. But if he would have ran his policy a little bit different and his public speaking a little bit different, this wouldn't be an issue, Well,
and you're totally correct. And I say this about Trump. That's going to be one of the things in 20, 25 years when historians look back and go, well, what did President Trump do? The first thing probably going to be out of their mouth is Operation Warp Speed. And you're right. Trump did not realize what I tell my guys: when there's an election year, you have to hold the baby. You have to hold the baby, vet. What that means is you don't have to like a baby. You don't even want a baby in the room when you're around. But when it comes to election years, you hold that baby and you take the picture like you love that baby. That's Trump. Trump refused to do that. He didn't understand the politics of it. But Operation Warp Speed, the economy, and certain things he did were great. But back to Biden, when he said, I'm not going to mandate a vaccine, and then here he comes, mandating a vaccine. I'm going to work for unity, and now I'm going to not unify anybody unless you are for my party. Sign this bill or you're un-American. Sign this bill or you're against Build Back America. I mean, the dude is about the most ridiculous presidential person I've seen, way past Trump when it comes to being ridiculous. At least you knew where Trump stood, like it or not.
Yeah, and the other thing I will say is this, we got this, what's it called, the Build Back Better plan or whatever it is, and, nobody's going to pay taxes on this. Nobody at all will pay any form of taxes unless you make over $400,000 a year. And they've already proven that wrong. That went to, I forgot which company to analyze it, and they've already proven that to be wrong. And check this out. 2/3 of the millionaires get a tax break out of it. Oh my gosh. Can you believe it? After we're going to make you do your part, oh my gosh. So anyway, I think we've hit this. I think, there's a few other people I trust more than I trust Biden with his word. And I'm just going to say that, is I trust Hillary Clinton with emails, keep making sure she keeps them all, that we can all have access to them. That's one is I do trust Bill Cosby with a drink more than I trust Biden telling the truth. I trust Stalin to make sure everybody has food and not starve his whole country out on purpose more than I trust Biden with all this. And there's a few others, it's just sad. I trust the Lions not to win the first 7 games of the year, or to win a game more than I do with Biden. So I don't know. It's just kind of crazy, to be honest. So,
Well, last thing I'm going to say, we'll move on from this, is Jimmy Carter does not have to worry anymore. His legacy is now stamped. They will not talk about you anymore, Mr. Carter. The philanthropy that he's done since he's out of office is probably one of the best of any president afterwards. You've got Obama and out there doing pretty much just politics 101, trying to go left, progressivism. You got George Bush that hardly never says anything. Most presidents don't. But I tell you what, Jimmy Carter did. He didn't put it out in the public much, but his butt's been working for people around the world that are struggling and suffering. I'm going to tell you right now, Biden, I don't believe anything he says, because for two reasons, real quick. Number one, because I don't believe he says. And number two, I believe what he says, he don't even know the information that he's talking about, and he's talking out of his ass. And then when they tell afterwards, what you said was not what we're doing because everyone's in charge. That's where Biden is.
Well, Coach, I will say this is Jimmy Carter, he's safe at being the 45th president in the ranking order out of 46 right now. He did move up one, and I agree. He's been a hell of a guy afterward, but he sucked as a president, and we all know it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. So, but at least he moved up. So with that, number 46 is firmly holding the seat at number 46 to being the 46th least best president. So it's time for us to kick it out of here. So I'm going to say that with the coach.
And to the vet.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.